say your last name?
Busette.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seekers of the Supernatural podcast. And tonight, of course, we have our regular crew, Dan Rivera, Chris DeLorean, and myself, Tony Spera. But we also have a special guest that I know you're going to love, and you're going to have a lot of questions and things to ask. We have April Busette. April Busette, she's a famous psychic. Are you also a medium?
Yes.
She's a psychic medium, and she's here tonight. And I'm going to ask her later to read me a little bit if she wants to. She may not want to because I'm very difficult to read. But we might ask her that. We don't want to intrude on her. But we're going to start out with talking about supernatural events, about the Ghosted magazine that April has just launched, which is a fabulous magazine because I saw a couple issues already. And I believe she's going to have us on there too. She'll interview Dan and Chris and me and Wade. She'll have photos of the museum, I believe. It'll be a fantastic magazine to purchase. I believe, April, you can get it online. Is that?
Yes, online and in print.
You can get it online and in print. And it's a wealth of knowledge. It'll give you a lot of insight into the paranormal realm. You know, I've been doing this for a lot of years, and rarely do you run into a psychic medium who's worth their salt. They claim to be a medium. They claim to be a psychic. A lot of times they're doing cold readings. In other words, they're reading you, they're looking at you and finding out by the kind of questions they may ask. They're almost fishing for answers from you and giving you a generic answer. But April's not that kind of psychic. She's a genuine, real psychic who can and does read people correctly and can sense things and have the spirits give her information. So with that, I think we'd like to turn this a little bit over to April, have her on. And welcome, April, to the podcast.
Hi. Oh my God.
Thanks for coming.
I am so excited to be here. I think I almost cried when I was pulling into the driveway.
Really?
I can't believe I'm in Ed and Lorraine Warren's home.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm sitting across from Tony Spera.
Well, thank you. It's almost like sitting across from George Clooney, huh?
Yeah.
But we won't talk about George.
So how do you get the name the Psychic Housewife of New Jersey?
Because I read some of the Housewives of New Jersey, the show.
Okay.
I started out with Kim D.
Yeah, Kim.
Yeah, Kim.
I know Kim.
Kim's great.
Yeah, she's blondish hair.
Yeah, the blonde hair. She used to have the boutique Posh.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to read out of Posh. So I said, you know what? Because I'm a housewife. This is a great name, New Jersey. Totally Jersey girl, you know? And,
Well, I'm addicted to the Housewives of New Jersey.
Me too.
I loved it when Teresa, like at the beginning, the first one throws the table over.
Yeah.
Real
that was the
Italian.
best.
Talk about Italian.
Oh,
Joe,
no, I know, right? We're all like that. That's
Joe
how-
Gorga
Yeah.
and all those people and Kim.
I met Joe, Melissa.
You know them all?
I don't know them personally, like as well as Kim.
So then you got in contact with
I
any
haven't
of them?
talked to Kim in so long, but I was going to reach out to her. I know she just had a book out. Because you know what happened after 2020? Everyone just lost contact.
True.
And I
Yeah.
think that,
I'm surprised they haven't had you on the show. You
Well,
should
didn't
have
one
you
of
on
the
show.
husbands get arrested or was put in jail?
Yeah,
Yeah, Joe.
Teresa.
Joe
That's
was.
Teresa's husband.
Okay.
Joe,
Yeah. Judice.
Giudice, yeah.
Judice.
Is he still in jail or
No, he's out.
He's out, but
He's in Italy now.
he was deported.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So Teresa being the horn dog that she is, I don't think she'd be away from a man.
I think that was a real
No.
bad
No,
thing
I
they
think-
did to Joe.
I think because after the loss of her parents, which we've all, most of us have endured, it's painful. And I think she associates that with Joe.
Yeah.
So it's
I
very
agree.
sad. The pain in her face, you could see it,
They're really close to their
Yeah.
mother and father. You know what I mean? Joe Gorga
Yes.
and
Yeah.
and Teresa were very
I felt
close.
so bad for them. Like you could still to this day see the pain in her eyes over that, But I'm glad that she has, Lewis in her life now, and she has
Yeah.
happiness.
Yeah.
I believe, regardless of what you do, and we get humbled, as long as you're humbled, we all deserve to be happy,
Yeah. The thing is, nobody on this planet is better than another person.
Mm.
You're no better than me, and I'm no better than you. We're the same.
Yeah.
In God's eyes, we're the same. And it's how we treat each other that matters to me, to God.
Yeah.
It's how you act and how you forgive, how you have compassion for
Yeah.
others. And I say you impart important information to people who are hurting.
Mhm.
Like say, like you talk to people about their deceased loved ones
Yeah.
through mediumship or whatever it is. And I think you offer a lot of comfort when you do that, because
Yeah.
people want to know or have that hope that my mom, my dad, my brother, my husband, my sister, my nephew lives on. Why are you here on this earth for all
Yeah.
these, for 70, 80, 90 years, and then it's no more? Why were you here to learn all these things? For nothing? No, you're here to learn all these things so you could be in eternity with God,
God, yeah.
because he wants you to be as pure as you can be. We're just learning our lessons of life here,
Yeah.
and he's setting us up for success if we want it.
Absolutely.
If we want it.
Absolutely.
So April, tell us what it's like to be a psychic, and when did it all start with you? When when you found out you had these abilities?
Well, as I was saying earlier, when I was 4 years old, I was in bed and I woke up because my dad had come into the room. So I'm a little confused by this and, yell for my mom, and my family comes running in. And I'm like, Daddy's here. Daddy's here. My dad died 2 years prior.
Mhm.
So I was a little baffled by this. But I'm like, Daddy was here. Well, after that, all hell broke loose in my house because every spirit from a 20-mile radius was coming into the home, but they weren't good.
Okay.
And I remember seeing this, as I got older, telling me, like, when you're psychic, when you're gifted, even sensitive, whatever, it's like our aura is much brighter. They could sense us. But I think my father, when he came to see me, like came through a portal and they follow.
Yeah.
And as you learn, like from doing investigations, once there's one spirit in the house, others will follow.
Mhm.
And what happens is there's going to be a bad one.
Yeah.
What that I like to call the soul collector, because he tries to control them.
Okay.
And it seems like a non-human. Has anybody else experienced that?
As what?
Going into a residential
Yeah.
when the spirits around. Have you ever noticed that there was
There's always one that's a troublemaker.
Well, the more dominant one.
yeah.
Yeah. It happens a lot.
But I'm going to tell you, so I always thought it was bad going into these homes because I would sense it before going there. I would try to pick up before I go into these homes. And I know the one house I was going to, and I saw the lady called me up, and I'm not going to tell her on the phone I saw, but they can also change what they look like. They're
Mm-hmm. How they want to present themselves to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, of
So
course.
this one was presenting herself as a creepy crawler.
Mhm.
And so when I got to the house, I said to the woman, I walked right in the house. I went to the kitchen. I said, this thing's flying off the shelf. And she's like, yes. I said, I'm going to tell you what I see. A woman, a creepy, crawly woman that's crawling on the walls.
Okay.
That's not who she is, though. But I also, before I got there, I also sensed the bad one. Something
Mhm.
that was there. So,
So
but when they tell you, I get there, I can't sense it anymore. It's just the woman.
Yeah.
So I'm like, badass.
So what are your senses? I mean, can you hear them? You know that.
I hear 'em.
Can you see them?
I see them only in my mind now. Like,
Okay.
It's I don't know when that happened.
Like
when
telepathically.
yeah,
almost, like-
telepathically.
But when you were a child,
I
you
saw
could-
them.
you saw them.
And I saw them in my head too.
So can you explain how you think that works? Like when you were a child, you were able to see them, and now that
Because I had no
you're
fear.
older.
I
Okay.
had no fear as a child.
Right.
Okay.
Now I have fear.
You're very open to spirits when you're young
Yeah.
because you don't know any better.
Yeah. Now I can sense them around, like kind of picture what they're like, what they look like. But it's my protection, for me, because if I see a spirit right now, I'll shit myself.
Well, in the
It's scary.
same token, what I've heard and what
Yeah.
I've learned is when you're younger, you're more pure,
Yeah, you're more
right?
pure.
Your
Absolutely.
light is
Yeah.
more brighter.
Yeah.
So
So-
that's
so,
what
yeah,
attracts the
let's see-
spirits to you, and you can see
Exactly. You could fit because you're pure of heart. You're not tainted yet by life.
Right.
You're not
Okay.
jaded. So you're looking through pure eyes. Now, after being
Innocent.
tormented for years by these things, as I got older, now I'm not seeing them anymore. But now I can feel things.
them. Mm-hmm.
I can feel when something's near me. I could see them in my head. Like these, like before I go to places now, I'm seeing before I go there. That's what, like I was saying, this thing that I felt at the house, the bad guy, I didn't feel him when I got there.
Mm.
So I'm doing a bunch of residentials. Anyway, you know what happened with this woman, the creepy crawly woman?
Right.
I told him, I said, you're hearing scratching on the floor, which is the ceiling to her. But I was walking around the house and I go into the main bedroom and all of a sudden this older woman, spirit, so it's pushing me out, get out, get out, get out. So I'm like, all right. So I turned around to the girl. I said, who's Claire? She goes, that's my mom. She just died. She goes, we all sleep in this room. I said, well, she's good because she's even kicking me out.
Really?
So she was protecting them all.
Sure.
What happened was that spirit, I finally found her in the basement. And I started talking to her in my head. I'm talking to her, having a conversation. And I got her down to human form. And what happened was she had gone crazy. Her husband, they lived in that house together. He put her in a home. He sold the house to put her in the best facility.
Mm-hmm.
He died. Of course, she's gone now. She came back looking for him.
Oh, really?
So this is one of the 3 times I've ever seen this, but I was trying to listen, you gotta, cross over. Your husband's waiting for you. Talking to her, go into the light. Well, there was a light. It was so bright, and you just get sucked in.
Hmm.
Like even I was in shock. I'm like, holy crap. It's real, and I saw it twice after that.
Wow.
But I don't see it
Wow.
every
Yeah.
time. But she had crossed over. But now I'm going through other places, and I'm still sensing the same person. That's why I thought that same entity. That's
Okay.
I know it's non-human and it's not
Right.
nice, but it's not demonic.
Mm.
It's just a bully.
Right.
So I keep sensing this everywhere. But when I go there, I don't feel them anymore. And I'm thinking it's me. Oh, look, I'm getting rid of them. All I have to do is walk into the house and they're gone.
Right.
No, they were hiding.
Interesting.
They were hiding
That's what they do.
And now,
until I met one that went at me.
but
Well-
So they're hiding until
I leave.
you leave.
Yeah.
right, and I'm wondering, like you say, you could sense them. So how could you differentiate evil spirit from just a nasty human earthbound spirit?
Well, we're all naturally psychic.
Mhm.
Our bodies.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, our
Real
bodies.
quick.
I
Or
know
protect us.
nothing.
But I'm going to tell
I
you,
am-
some people have nothing.
I
But it's like this. I'm an artist. I always wanted to be an artist.
Mhm.
I remember being in art class, and there's people that didn't know how to draw. My teacher was so great. He got these people where they can draw pretty well. So that's what it is. It was different levels.
And it's like a
But not-
training. It's almost like
yeah.
just like
But
Lorraine.
not everybody's going to be a Picasso.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, not
That's
everybody
it.
can.
There's different levels. Like Kim Russo, she's amazing. John Edward, amazing.
Mhm.
I got read by John Edward.
And he was good.
He was excellent.
What do you think of James Van Prague?
He's good. There's different levels, and the levels, like the masters, I like to call is like John Edward, Kim Russo.
How about Tyler Henry? How about anything?
Tyler Henry is very good. He's just he's young yet, and he has when he gets nervous, he's
He
like,
seems genuine, huh?
very genuine. He's very good.
Yeah.
What I think some of these celebrity psychics that are on TV, I think they do embellish some things, and on TV they edit it so they show you the stuff that he hits.
Yeah,
Just like Teresa Caputo.
yeah.
I've heard stories that she's good. I've heard stories she's not. I saw her in person at Warner Theater in Torrington. She was pretty good,
Yeah.
I thought, at the Warner
Yeah.
Theater. Funny too, but she's almost like kind of like you.
Yeah.
And she said some things that were pretty cool that I thought were real. But I think sometimes that
It's hard.
they don't hit,
Yeah.
so they keep. Sometimes they
Yeah.
fish. But I think those people that you're talking about do have a lot more psychic ability than we do.
Yeah.
How-
And you gotta maintain it. You have to, it's work.
Well,
It's like working out. You have to keep that muscle.
yeah,
grow.
and it's so sort of things. I come up with stuff and I sense things when I go to
Yeah, I
locations.
know.
Dan
But-
has that good.
Yeah, I know he does.
But I don't
told
don't
me the other night.
100%
Trust
allow
yourself.
myself. No, not that I trust myself. I don't allow myself to fully go there with it.
You have to want to.
and-
It's
and-
all perception. It's
well, that's the whole thing. I don't want it to.
Yeah. so you don't.
I like it when it happens when it's needed.
Yeah.
Or like the other night we were having a long conversation, and at the end of our conversation, I kind of started,
Yeah. I almost punched him in the face.
Uh,
he was going
touching on stuff that
Yeah.
only you
I'm like, I
knew.
gotta go.
Only you
I
know.
gotta go, Dan. Yeah.
So, but that's how it happens with me.
Yeah.
And
So you have to keep maintaining. You got to keep doing it. It's because the more you do it, the more you have to. The most important, and I didn't understand this when. Now I also went for training too. I wanted to train myself. I want to know how to control what I could do.
Right.
How far into your life were you when you went?
When did you do
Was it
that?
later on, or
It was later on.
it
yeah.
wasn't like
Um,
teenager or 20s?
well, all right. So now, like, as I was a teenager, like 14, 15,
Mhm.
16, 17, 18, and 20, I started reading friends and family and, just, not charging anyone. And, now I'm a partier, I'm going out and everything. But I remember being at a bar one time and I'm sitting next to this girl and I look at her and I said, hey, now I don't know her. I said, who's Joe? She goes, that's my boyfriend. I said, why do you let him hit you? I said, if you stay with him another year, I said, you're going to die. So I don't know what happened, but,
What did she say to you when you said
she
that?
started crying. She was like, no, I don't know how to get away. I love him, blah, blah, the I love you.
Did she ask you, how do you know Joe? Did she say that?
I don't remember.
I'd be like, what do you mean, Joe? How do you know him? But the thing is,
I thought I had magic powers.
let me ask you this. Can you tell if somebody claims to be psychic and they're faking it? Can you tell? If somebody said to you, I'm a psychic, and they're reading somebody in front of you, can you tell if it's phony or
Well,
not?
it's not like we have like badges on. Hey, but you can tell. You can tell by their, the way they're reading. And sometimes it's people that you just sense when you're near them. Like I know I was talking to somebody, and I forgot what I saw around them because sometimes when I see this really bright light around them, that they're good.
yeah,
They're good. They're definitely gifted. Those are the pure ones, which probably Lorraine was.
She was,
Mhm,
for
mhm,
sure. And
100%.
you know who's psychic too? Wade.
Really?
Wade's got psychic ability.
Wade freaks us out sometimes.
Can I tell
Sometimes.
you something?
Maybe all the time.
What?
But Wade really is. He before we go anywhere with us, he's kind of like he knows our thoughts sometimes, and it's amazing. Really
Like you
is.
And
And-
you do them so nonchalantly,
Yeah, like we were just having a conversation, and Wade already knows what that conversation is.
yeah.
Or we're going to a location maybe a week from now. Wade is just coming up with stuff that maybe he shouldn't know about, and we'll wait till he gets there, and then he's like, see what I was telling you, look right
Yeah.
there, over there.
Right.
So everybody's different.
Yeah, everyone's different. It's just the more you do it, the more you'll start picking up more tools. Like where I started getting more names. And it just happens randomly.
Mhm.
It's like one gift comes in, another one goes out. Like you switch out like every few years.
Right.
Really?
Interesting.
Now, do you ever have communication with people that are related to you, like your mom or your dad or somebody, or
So that's
anybody like that ever come
Other
to
than
you?
that, early.
yeah, see now
Childhood.
that's the whole thing. Yeah, well that was the only that I gotta tell you, I don't remember that story. My sister had to tell me that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I remember
How old-
everything
you were
else.
4.
I was
right?
4.
Yeah.
But everything after that, because I was getting pushed and pinched.
Mhm.
But you know what I was going to say? Like, you know what I noticed? When people become investigators, the more we investigate it, because we're in the dark, we're using our senses and we're more heightened. We're actually improving our abilities as psychics. That's why most investigators will start getting abilities.
Hmm.
You know, like Zach Bagans. Like, I think Zach Bagan's psychic now because he's been doing this for so long. His senses is so heightened, you know, and you'll notice that, you know, while you're doing it too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's possible, very possible. It's very possible that he is.
What about spirit guides? Now, I've seen what psychics talk about that they have a spirit guide that is
Yeah.
always there, and they're the ones that are guiding them to these answers. A lot of these
Yeah.
answers. What do you think about that?
All right, so I'm going to tell you 2 stories. I don't work with spirit guides
Okay.
because sometimes I'll hear a psychic talking and I'm like, okay, Bob's an Indian chief, and I'm like, and I'm looking, I'm like, where? I'm like, because I'm, you know, really, I'm not sensitive. I think I just pick up information. I just say, I think we're all part of one consciousness, all of us.
I think you're right.
And I'm just tapping into that, just
Mhm.
plucking things out. But I think if it helps people thinking it's another person bringing it, maybe it is. I don't know.
Okay.
But I will tell you a story. I think it was like 20. I would have been married 27 years, maybe 25 years ago. I was driving to work, and for weeks I kept saying to my husband, and I'm whispering to him in the house. I said, "Hey, there's a really tall woman following me." He goes, "Where?" I
Following
said,
you or him?
yeah, I said, I feel her. I said, she's not bad. I said, I think she's
Mhm.
here to help me. I said, but I keep feeling her around me. So, but she doesn't tell me anything. So I'm like, all right, you know, I'm going to ignore this. I'm driving to work. All of a sudden, I feel this big hand on my right leg. And I knew
Sure.
it's her, and take my foot off the gas. And I did that. And as I did that, a car came out. And if I was still at that same speed, I would have been T-boned and probably dead.
Oh wow.
So now
She saved you.
she saved me.
She could be your spirit
She's
guide.
here to protect me.
She could be your spirit
But she
guide.
doesn't say a damn word to me. And I always yell at her. I'm like, give me the numbers. No.
Well, will you
Yeah, I
consider
know.
that?
Give me the Powerball.
Yeah, but here's another thing, and depends on your religion. Do you believe that's a spirit guide or a guardian angel?
I think I knew her in a past life, which I believe in past lives. I don't do that. I wouldn't go to somebody that does it because you know why?
I
How can you
believe in
tell?
past lives too.
Yeah.
You don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
I
you
can tell you anything, Tony.
Yeah. I know. It's true. And
Yeah.
you gotta either believe it or you don't.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was a kid. Now this doesn't mean anything.
No, but
But
yeah.
when I was a kid, we used to go down to the beach or Old Saybrook because my grandmother lived there, and so my father's mother. So we used to go to the beach. I remember I was like 6 years old, 7, and I remember sitting on the beach. I'm looking at the water. All of a sudden, a few times this happened to me, where I got this vision in my head of landing in the water with a parachute, and then the parachute gets sucked into the water, and I go under. And I'm thinking to myself, later in
Yeah.
adulthood, I can still remember thinking that. Why did that come into my mind like that? Maybe I was a soldier or an Air Force soldier or a
Mhm.
paratrooper or something in World War II, because I was born in 1950. And 1945, the war was over. Maybe I was a soldier
Yeah.
or something. I died that way. Why is it in my mind at 6 years old thinking about a parachute all around me?
It's that
And
one.
I was scared.
There's no
Right.
coincidence.
And then all of a sudden the parachute gets caught in the water and it sucks me down.
Yeah. That's not a normal thing a person's going to think.
Not at 6
We
years old.
are all one consciousness. That's, I believe, you know, we're all one. So whatever we do to each other is going to reflect
Yeah.
in that good and bad, you know?
Because, how do you account for a prodigy, like a kid who sits down at 5 years old and
Exactly.
can do Mozart? He can recite,
Yeah.
he can play the piano, not even one lesson, and he plays it perfectly. That's impossible unless you knew it somehow in a past life.
Yeah.
You don't just start playing these perfect notes.
Yeah.
So I believe you're right in reincarnation. In other
Yeah.
words,
Oh, I
believe it.
absolutely believe in that. I love it. But, like that's what I'm saying. Like you're at the place at the right time, and this triggered a thought that's out there in the consciousness somewhere because you were part of that lifetime at one time, because we're all interconnected. But it's weird when we cross over, like it's like I heard somebody else say this too, and I'm like, yes. It's like the other side is 4 feet higher than us. It's like, say with the floors here, their floors.
Mhm.
It's weird. It's weird. I remember one day I was walking in my house and I felt like I was on that level, and I'm like, holy crap. And I'm like, get me out of here. Get me out. I don't like this, but somebody else had said that. And I said, yes, I have experienced that before. We're all interconnected.
And just like when we talk about alien life and stuff, I'm
Yeah.
very interested in the UFOs and aliens.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that there are aliens from other planets.
Yes.
There's
I
probably
have a
millions of-
theory on that with hauntings, too.
yeah, there's probably a million different species. But the thing is, people say, well, if there's aliens, then that shoots down everything about religion, that blows up religion. Why would that blow
Yeah,
up
why
religion?
does it have to
Because-
do with religion?
They're thinking because they're thinking God's talking about only the earth. But people don't realize that. What's the first thing in the Bible? In the first book of it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Yes.
Didn't say he created the earth
Yeah.
and humans. He created everything. Why we got so many different creatures on this earth?
Absolutely.
Why isn't just humans there?
tiny organisms
Yeah,
that we can't even
that we don't
explain.
even know about yet.
Yeah.
So I believe that you're right, that we're all interconnected, and alien life has been around here on this planet for years.
I've seen a couple of UFOs. It scares the heck out of me because that's the only thing I have no control over. Like as far as my mind,
Mhm.
because I can control everything with my mind. Meaning like with spirits, who I'm letting in and who I'm not talking to. With aliens, I know you can't. It's like they have
because
they
it's so
can
far advanced.
they're so far advanced they can connect into our minds, and I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable.
They don't talk with their mouth.
Yeah.
It's all telepathic communication.
I've been to locations. I just want to tell you something. I believe a small percentage of hauntings are actually alien
Could be.
visitations.
Definitely could be.
Yeah, and I think they mask the mind because but our minds are so powerful that the images start coming through. That's why people think they're going crazy.
Dan's itching to talk about the
Yeah,
book of Enoch.
I mean, 'cause I
He's
like-
dying to talk
I
about
like
it.
going into that because you're talking about ancient beings that been around for millions of years and lost history, and we might be descendants of some of these aliens that we're talking about.
True.
They were
Yeah.
saying something about that Rh negative blood. Everyone that has Rh, which is very rare, and they say everyone that has Rh negative blood
Is what?
related. And then I've heard
Are related
are
to each
related.
other?
Yeah. And they say that it's possibly aliens.
Hey, you
Hey,
never know.
you never know.
I mean, really, we only scratch the surface as
Oh,
far as
this is
what's really
nothing.
going on.
yeah.
Well, and like I said, you start talking about this stuff, and I look deep into it, and I like it, and I like the
I like it
stories.
too.
The fallen angels,
Mm-hmm.
the Nephilim.
I knew he was going to talk about
And
that.
I always bring that up
He
because I
loves
think
them.
that's one of the
I know,
major
it's cool.
it's the connections
Yeah.
to all of it and what's going on today.
Just like the dinosaurs. Look at that. I mean, people would never believe that if there wasn't people that really discovered it. They
Yeah.
just found a dinosaur, like I forget where it was now, 40, 50-foot dinosaur that
Yeah.
they found perfectly intact from 150 million years ago.
Amazing.
And now it's on display. I forget where it is, but it's a big, giant thing that you'd never see walking the earth
Yeah.
today.
Mm.
So
and as recorded, the human race, what 20,000 years?
it's not very long.
It's not very
Yeah,
long
no,
compared
not
to
at
how
all.
old this planet is.
And we
And
just
if
popped
God
up.
created, the heavens and earth.
Yeah.
All right, this earth is millions and millions and millions of years
Oh, yeah.
old. So what came before us? Yes, we have
Yeah,
the
I used to
biblical,
think
we
about
have
that
that
as a kid.
biblical text, but there's just evidence out there that there is something more intelligent
Oh yeah.
than we are.
Did you as a kid thinking about that? Like, I used to think, like, what if there was nothing? Like, just the thought of that.
What do you mean nothing?
Like
After you
nothing. What
die?
if nothing? There was nothing. Nothing.
The big void.
The big void. Like.
Well, the thing is, you can't make something from nothing. At least not in any
Everything's a
physical
thought
realm that we
process.
know of. Like the thing is, you can't make something from nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So there has to be an intelligent creator, a designer,
Yeah.
a designer. In other words, like when you open a book
It's
and
like
you read it,
manifesting.
pardon me?
It's like manifesting.
Yeah.
It's
when
a
you,
thought.
when you,
and you make it happen.
when you open a book and you read the book, do those words magically just appear on the page in
Yeah.
that kind of order so you could read it?
Yeah.
Or did somebody have to create that work of art, that book? So you
Exactly.
could.
That's
thought-
a good
You
analogy.
can't make a You can't make something out of nothing. Something had to design all of this. So people say, when you ask them and they're atheists and they say, well, I don't believe in God, then you say, well, how do we get here? And you know what their answer normally would be?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but it wasn't God.
Yeah.
That's not an answer.
Yeah.
That's just, they just don't believe it.
Yeah.
Why don't you believe it? How can you believe dust particles created you? How? How
Yeah.
can an inert thing create life?
Because I think it's so overwhelming.
It is
To
overwhelming.
You can't-
really,
you still
you
can't
know, get
I don't
that much
understand
thought
that.
into
I
it to
can't
try
even
to
think
figure
about
it
it.
out because we will never know the true
Until we
answers,
die.
Until we die.
you know, to those questions.
But you know, it's funny. The people that cross over and they show me what it's like when they go over. They actually
Yeah, what's
go.
it like?
It's beautiful. It's whatever you want it to be. So I'll tell you one reading I was doing. This woman, her father came through, and I remember I'm like, oh, I said, oh, he showed me he died of cancer, blah blah. I'm going through it. I said his name is Brian, whatever. His name is Brian. I said, it's funny. I said, heaven is whatever you want it to be. It's the manifestation of what you want and where you want to go. I said, your dad lives on the golf course,
Yeah,
and
he
she
probably
started
does.
laughing.
Because he
And-
loves golf, right?
No, she goes, April, he lived on a golf course here too. I said, well, he's living on one in heaven too.
You see? So, and that's the beauty about what's going to happen when we pass on,
Yeah,
is that we're not going to really die.
No.
Only our physical self will die.
it's
It's like a snake who just sheds its skin,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the snake leaves the skin behind, but keeps going.
yeah.
Our consciousness, our
Keep-
spirit will keep
continue.
going. That's
Yeah.
the beauty.
It
Now,
is
so-
beautiful.
Getting back to your relatives, have you ever had them come through though?
My mom, I think like a year after she died, and it was very traumatic for me. But I was sleeping. It was a dream visitation, which is safer for people because people always ask me, why don't I see my parents or my loved one? I said, it will be so traumatic to you. It'll bring you back to the day you died because I'll
And
tell you.
it can stop your heart. It can stop your heart because you're scared and you see them at the foot of your bed.
That's
In
what
a
they
dream,
call
you can
dreams.
easily accept it.
But you know what? When she gave me the dream, I didn't want to let her go, and I get choked up thinking about it. And we were holding hands. So as I woke up, I am hysterical crying, and my hand is out, and I could feel her on me,
Still,
and I'm crying. And my husband's going, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, and I'm not talking to him, and I can still feel her until she disappears. I didn't let that go for years. It traumatized me.
so,
So
but you know what? It's actually beautiful because it
Yeah.
shows you that she lives on.
yeah, but
Well, you know that
yeah.
anyway. You knew
Yeah.
it anyway.
But I can't. I have a hard time reading my friends and family because the logical brain kicks in because I don't want to think of anything bad.
That makes
I would-
sense.
Let me tell you a funny story, and this is definitely why I will not do it. But my husband, he pushes me. He is my cheerleader in doing this. I love him to death for this, but sometimes it pisses me off. But this he did. He goes, "Hey,"
Well, who doesn't?
he's like, "Why don't you do world events?" I said, "Absolutely not. I'm not opening a can of worms. No way." But of course, the next morning I wake up, I'm sitting at my desk. I'm like, "All right, give it to me, guys. Give me something."
So what'd you find out?
So I hear active shooter. I'm like, "All right."
Active shooter. Okay.
But then they show me my daughter. So I go, "Oh no, I'm thinking this is my imagination." So I said, "Stop."
Mhm.
But the voice said, "She'll be far away." So I said, "That's it." I was very upset by this. I'm not going to think about this. This is my imagination going crazy. Well, anyway, 9:00 at night, my phone rings. It's my daughter. She goes, "Mom, there's an active shooter." I fell to my knees. She goes, "But I'm far away."
Wow.
Unbelievable. See?
So
Wow.
I hang up the phone. I look at my husband. I said, "You mother effer." But you know why? I'm going to tell you what. We are not privy to everything. It's like it's like somebody driving through the mountains and like on a phone call on a cell phone. You're not getting everything. So I'm not getting a date. I'm not getting a time. I don't know where it is. I will make myself crazy. Yeah.
Right. That's wild.
Yeah.
That is what.
Hey,
That's a good thing to be able to do, though. I'm
Yeah.
glad your daughter was okay.
Yeah. Thank God. That was the most
Something. It
upsetting
might have
thing.
been like Dan was saying, your spirit guide, or maybe you got somebody that was close to you that wanted you to know that everything was going to be all right.
Yeah. But I'll
You
never
got
do
that
that again.
No, I know.
But he did it to me again. He goes, "You gotta start reading people when you're out." I said, "Some people."
Did you ever
don't
read your
like
husband?
it. I can't read my husband. I can't read anybody that I'm.
Yeah, that's what Lorraine said. to
Yeah,
me.
it's
I said,
very
Lorraine, read me shoes. I can't read people that are close to me like that.
It's very
that's why.
difficult. No, because your logical brain's going to kick in
Yeah.
because we have to go in. I love readings of people I've never met before. You know, it's the best because they're like a clean canvas.
Right.
You know, so I can get all this information. I just did I think this one I might be mixed up the reading, but the lady's from Finland. I'm getting a lot of people from Finland. But I don't know if this is the right one. But anyway, I'm talking to her and I'm saying, like, oh, there's a Joe here, there's a dad, da, da, da. And then the mother was coming through. So the mother's talking to me. And I said, oh, your mom had the heart problem. She's like, yeah. And the mother starts showing me apples. So in my head, I go to the lady, and I wrote this in the post. I said, oh, lady, if you tell me that you like apple pie, I'm not saying this because that's so stupid.
Generic.
It's so generic. So she goes, no, April. She said, say apples. Don't say apples. Say apples to her. So I said, all right, your mom wants me to say apples.
Yeah.
She starts crying. She goes, that was her nickname.
Apples?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
now I'm doing a reading yesterday for another woman, right? So I'm da da da, and all of a sudden I'm seeing peaches. You know, I go to the lady. I said, "Oh my God, this reminds me of a reading I had the other night with this lady, who the mother was showing me apples." She goes, "That was my sister." I said, "Get out of here." I said, "Well, your dad's here, and he's showing me peaches." She goes, "That was his nickname."
Get out of here.
I swear to God.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm like, it was the funniest thing.
All right, so I got a question. And this is I don't know if I can answer it. Have you ever
Dan's gonna put me on the
heard,
spot.
or I'm gonna be on a spot, ever
Yeah.
seen anything of a divine nature? I know, like when Jesus and his disciples, right, and the messages that they will get were from heaven. They were
Yeah.
from the angels. They were from God, and they heard voices.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I mean, have you ever experienced something divine that and what would that angelic? What would that look? What would that look like, or feel, or see, or
That's a
hear?
great question. That's a
Well,
great question.
I'm trying to think if I did. I'm sure I have, but I remember one time.
You know, not to interrupt you.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
like
no.
Teresa Computer, Spirit says, well, what spirit is it? Is it a human spirit, a demonic spirit? Is it an angelic spirit?
Yeah.
All she says is, Spirit tells me. So I guess what we're asking you is,
Oh yeah.
what's going on with
Yeah,
No,
is it
me.
my thing
angelic?
is that people will consider them as prophets, but psychics as well.
Yeah. I just get information. I don't know who it's coming from half the time. Sometimes they'll show up. Like for a little while, I had this gay doctor from like the 1800s. I loved him. His name was Richard. He popped in for just a couple weeks because I was taking a class. I had a blast with him. Well, because now I do a lot of medical readings, which I'm not a doctor and I don't claim to be, because I had somebody say it to me. But I have on live told people of ailments, and the one,
That's true.
yeah. Anywho, I just get home downloads. I just get information. Sometimes I just start talking, and I have no idea why
Now,
I'm
can
saying
you
it.
at will do this? In other words, you're a medium, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Psychic medium. So can you at will try to communicate with a deceased loved one or something like that? Like say Dan's mother or my
Oh
mother.
yeah. I actually go into mode for that. Like I said, that's like I go into mode for that. Like I kind of sit myself and I try to draw them down. Like I did this one time where I was doing an investigation. So when I'm trying to connect with spirit or trying to raise my vibration, I picture a cone going up
Mhm.
over my head. So one day somebody had the floor camera, the that detects the heat.
Oh, yeah.
What did they
Clear.
that was a flare.
The flare.
It was
Like a
the wrong thing.
thermal.
Yeah.
Thermal cam.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, do me a favor. I said, I always put it like when I'm trying to reach spirit, I always feel like it's a cone going up my head. I said, put that in front of me and see what you get. It was a cone. The
Serious?
heat signature going
The
up,
heat signature.
like a cone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know, and it wasn't the one that records.
Now, did anything ever, spirits ever come to you in your dreams?
Uh
And like you wake up, you go, whoa, I got to tell somebody about that.
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is a doozy. I got woken up. I remember I just had my surgery on my neck. I got woken up at 1:30 in the morning with a woman screaming in my ear. So I jump up. I'm like, oh shit! Like, oh my god! So I go outside. I have a cigarette. I turn all the lights on because I'm scared. So all the lights on. So I go back in the house and watch the TV because now I'm staying in my daughter's room because I had to recover. I couldn't have everyone near me. So I have all the lights on. All of a sudden, the woman starts screaming in my ear again. Now I can't go to sleep. I am so scared because this is an actual voice screaming in my ear. And it scared me. I waited till my husband got up, and as soon as he came out of bed, I said, "Some woman is screaming in my ear. I don't know what she's saying, but I recognize the voice, but I don't know who it is, and I don't know what she's trying to tell me." So anyway, day goes on. I'm gonna take my daughter to the city, go get dolls. What the heck was that?
I think it's across the street.
So anyway, I said, I have a tenant, Josephine. She's older. She doesn't have any family. So I said, I gotta go check on her. I
Right.
go upstairs because she can't go to the store. And I want to make sure she's okay. Tell her I'm leaving for the day. I go upstairs. She has the same layout as my house.
Mm.
I can't find her. I'm
Can't
going
find
from room to room. And as I go into the second room, I stop and I go, "Oh my God, she's under the bed." Like in the other room.
Was
So
she?
I go back in and I see her arm out.
Wow.
Wait, so I'm hysterical. Now, when I first met her, I after she left and she said, "You're never going to give this because I'm older." I said, "No, absolutely not. I would love you to live here." But in my head, I said, "But I'm going to find you dead." That's exactly what I heard. And so anyway, she's dead.
She was dead.
She was dead. So I called police. All of a sudden, the prosecutor's office is like 15 police cars here. What the hell's going on? They come down and this nasty detective like yelling at me, blah, 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 like, who was in there? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's just us and just no family. So finally, they come down and the one detective goes, "Hey, but let me ask you something. Did she wear a scarf?" And I said, "Yes." And that's what it dawned on me. She had surgery on her vocal cords, so she had a scar and she'd wear a scarf. And that's when it dawned on me it was her.
The
Screaming
scream.
because when she's get up, and when Josephine, slow down because I can't hear you. That was the voice I heard. Well, anyway, they thought she was murdered. Did somebody like strangled her?
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't understand how she got in the bed. And I found out later from the coroner when the family member, she had died at 1:30. Like they were saying between 1:30 and 2. That's when I heard her at 1:30. The reason why she was on the bed because she had suffered a heart attack, but she's like she probably fell onto the floor and was like,
Yeah.
moving around, and
Yeah.
that's how she got in. But
How old was she?
she was 84.
84.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell me any of your experiences when you were a child? I know what people, children that have these gifts, and they talk about imaginary friends or friends that are not there. Do you have any stories when you were a young child of these imaginary friends that used to be with you all the time and play with you?
Yeah. He was a little boy. It was
Mhm.
baby Jesus. I
Okay.
called him baby Jesus because he was just like Jesus.
Well, why do you say that he was just
Because
like
he had
Jesus?
the robe on.
Okay.
And
He did?
yeah, he had a robe on. Like how Jesus wore.
And did he talk to you?
And we used to play together all the time.
Was he imaginary?
I don't know. To this, I only thought about this like a few years ago. I'm like, hey, I haven't thought about that in a long
Did
time.
he seem real to you?
Yeah.
Like
And-
solid, like that?
Yeah. And I remember getting upset with him because he would go, there was like a wall with a crawl space like this big.
Mhm.
And he used to go behind there. And I used to cry. My mom was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Jesus went between the wall and I can't get in there."
You used to call him Jesus?
Yeah, I called him baby Jesus. Baby
Wow.
boy Jesus.
That's
And then,
awesome.
how did you stop seeing him, and when did that happen?
Oh, yeah, I stopped seeing him. I think it was only for a little while, maybe a year.
Okay.
Um,
Did he ever come back to you later on in life?
No, he never did. It's funny, but that's when all the bad things started happening to me. I
Bad
think
things?
after my father's visitation, baby boy Jesus came around, and then like the bad things started happening. I was getting pushed. I was getting welts on my body. I was physically like pushed off a chair, like in front of my family. My
Yeah.
family was feeling like getting grabbed on their ankles by the stairs. I hated those
Really?
stairs. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, it used to invade my dreams. This thing would mimic my mom's voice. Go, April.
Yep.
So I would get up and I'm like, Mom, I'd be in the dark. And where I would wind up at the top of the stairs. This thing wanted me dead. It wanted me to fall down the stairs because now it's sort of going into my dreams and it's showing me that I could fly down the stairs. So I'm a little kid. So one day I was going to go try, I put on a cape and I was going to fly down the stairs. And my mom's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I can fly. She goes, don't you let it do, again. I'm like, this thing. And as I got older, this thing wanted me to die or be hurt. It just wanted me hurt.
So April, we got about another 10 minutes. Is there anything exciting going on or is going to be coming up that you want to talk about? The soiree?
We
Oh.
have that Paracon.
Well, yeah, we know we got the Paracon. We're going to talk about the Paracon, but I
Well, yes.
that you and I believe Get Haunted. I mean,
Yeah,
you
Get
guys are all
Haunted,
working on together.
Yeah, great group. I love Get Haunted. Rob Sauer, the whole group, Get Haunted.
Yeah, they're great.
They are just awesome people.
Yeah,
It
down
is
to earth.
one big, down to earth, big happy family.
Everybody that we dealt with.
I know. I
you
just
know,
love
been
them to
involved
death.
with
Sarah,
professional.
Rob, Danny
Danny,
Marie.
Danny Marie,
They're nice.
everyone.
Nice
Lori,
people.
I mean, Bridget, everyone that's involved. Andrew, oh gosh. I'm sorry, I'm not remembering everyone's names, but so we're having, I always wanted to have a party.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Rob always wanted to do
Right,
something. So so we're like, so Michael and Rob got together. They went to the Battleship, New Jersey, and they're like,
Mhm.
"Why don't we have the party on there?" I'm like, "That's a great friggin' idea," So that's how we started, and we wanted to make it a paranormal party. We invited some celebrities like yourselves, and where people aren't going to like stay on one. It's just a party, people hanging out.
Yeah,
Right.
That's awesome.
I am going to have a
It's gonna be
VIP
fun.
lounge, so the people, if you guys want to get away and go hide out,
How do you get tickets to go to that? And when is it?
It's October 26th. It's from 8 p.m. till 3 a.m. We have a DJ
Past
Ghost.
their bedtime.
8 a.m. to 3 a.m.
8
8 p.m.
p.m. to 3 a.m. So we
I
got
gotta
a
be in
DJ.
bed by 8, like,
Yeah, we gotta-
somebody else we know.
Well, we have a nice hotel set up. So I have a really nice hotel
We got to tuck Tony in.
And where could they get the tickets for this?
at
I
the
mean,
supernaturalsoiree.com.
okay.
How do you spell soiree?
SOIREE. Is that?
That's what I make sure people can get to it. Supernatural.
Soiree. Yeah, and you can see it on our pages on Get Haunted, on
Yeah.
Ghosted Magazine.
Okay. Yeah.
Look up Supernatural Soiree on Facebook.
Let's talk about Ghosted
Yeah, what
Magazine.
about
What's
Ghosted?
going on with that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
Ghosted Magazine. Oh,
It's really
that's a
taken
good-
off. I mean,
Yeah. This is my baby. I dreamt of this like a few years ago. And I said, one day I'm going to do a magazine. I want to do a magazine. And I never thought of the name until the one day I was driving. I'm like, I'm going to start the magazine. And I know who I'm calling. Like Mike I had met a few years ago.
Now, Mike, who's Mike? Mike Castro?
Mike Castro.
They call him.
AKA
They call him Danger.
Yeah.
AKA Danger.
So I know he's a designer because I used to work in advertising, so I had another designer, but I like Michael. Michael's like me. I wanted somebody that Michael's good at what he does. He's good, and that's unemotional. Because we have to be unbiased in this magazine, regardless of feelings of anyone,
Mhm.
and everything's positive in this. We are just talking about the paranormal. There's no drama, nothing like that. It's the fun part. I want to bring the fun of the paranormal back to people. And now we have no more TV shows. So what better ways to bring the magazine to this?
Okay.
So anyway, so I called Michael. I said, Michael, I have this idea. And I said, what do you think of it? So then we're going back and forth. I'm like, all right, great. Then
Where do you
we
buy
think-
the magazine online?
Oh, yeah. So it's at ghostedmagazine.com. You have it in
Ghosted
print
Magazine.
or you can have it virtual online.
What I like is that there is a print version.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's always great
It's
to
Wait.
hold it in your
ghostedmagazine.com.
hand.
Yeah.
And the
But-
quality's good.
We just got a new printer. And oh my God, this issue is off the charts. It is like quality,
Really?
high quality.
And I'm
It's
thinking
a real-
this
it's a real
in this
magazine,
new issue,
you know?
you got like the best back cover on this magazine.
We got the best back cover.
What's on the back cover?
The wands, the
What is it?
The supernatural. It's you guys, and I got to bring my magazine in. I have the magazine in the car. I'll give you one.
Okay, good.
And on the
That's-
back,
it's the-
which
it's
is
the
the
Gettysburg thing?
main ad. Everybody wants the back cover. Or the
Really?
cover. Yeah, everyone wants that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks cool.
Yeah, it's
Are you
really.
coming to the Paracon or what?
Oh yeah.
You're
Didn't you
coming,
see my picture?
Yeah,
Yeah.
April's gonna be there.
Well, you know what I
We're
know?
promoting her, Tony.
Yeah,
Hey,
I know.
Tony, you know what? Did you notice on some of the videos that Dan left me out? Did you notice that?
Yeah, but I made the videos. I had the videos created before you were
I can't,
on our Paracon. So
Can't trust you.
I blame Dan.
Any
Yeah,
questions from
blame
the
me.
audience? Any questions? No questions from the audience. Yeah?
There was
A lot of questions from the audience.
I
We
had
totally
one,
ignoring
I've been,
them.
Give us
I've been
one.
trying to get to one, but
Come on, Chris.
can't-
Come on,
I can't
come on.
remember.
Any questions?
Oh, now I see.
She wanted to know.
Oh, George
I think her name was Cindy. Cindy wanted to know, how do you protect yourself from spirits following you after you
Do your
do a reading or do your thing, or
Oh, so you
maybe
know
an
what?
investigation?
I used to go full
I
blown.
mean, we know how we do it,
Yeah.
but how do you do it as a?
I always have holy water. I have my crucifix that's blessed that my husband made for me, and prayers. You know, I used to do this really heavy duty prayer, and then I noticed when I was going into locations that I really the spirits aren't interacting with me. I said, you know what? I'm too protected. So I started going in there, and I was getting contact without, like, you know, all the prayers and everything, and all the my crucifix and everything. And I said, you know what? My faith in God is so strong. That's who's protecting me. I don't need anything else. I don't even need the
believe
crucifix
that.
because my faith is so strong in God. I know He's got my back. And you know what? I have that, but they still interact with me. But I will tell you, I had my crucifix, the cross itself, yanked off, but I didn't even feel it. But it went and fell the second time it happened. But the piece where my husband made it, like the little circle thing, wasn't even open. He's like, I don't know how this came off.
See?
Mm.
Yeah.
I said,
That's wild.
I know. It was weird.
Any advice for people who think they're psychic or want to be
yeah.
involved in psychic abilities?
Meditation. Practice on friends and family. Just don't go randomly, because you have to learn to
Focus.
not only that, because when we're psychic, it's right, our psychic abilities in the brain is right next to our imagination. So as you begin, you have to learn which is your imagination and which is your psychic abilities, and with time that comes. The key is meditation. And people say, I can't meditate. I can't meditate either. I start shopping in my head.
Yeah.
But if you just keep doing it, I was talking to Cindy Kaiser about this. After doing it for a while, you hit that sweet spot where you make that connection to the other side. And after that, I don't really need to meditate that much anymore.
You
Now
know.
I just sit. As soon as I sit in my chair, I go into that mode and I'm connected, because I already hit that sweet spot. But I got to continue this.
Like you're tuned in right
I'm
away.
tuned in because my brain knows that radio station in heaven.
Have you ever?
Now-
Have you? Oh, go ahead. You guys.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I got another question from
Go ahead.
came from the audience from Damien. Is there a location you won't go to?
Oh no, I'll go anywhere.
You'll go anywhere.
I'll go anywhere. I love
You
it.
get that in writing?
Yeah.
Just don't go into the bathroom after Chris has been in.
Yeah.
Stay out of the bathroom.
So
I witnessed that.
Way to bring the show
Oh,
to
can
a
I
different
say
level.
Something.
What?
With down in the museum,
Yeah.
did anyone experience like electric shocks or?
I-
All right,
I-
then I know what this means. Did anyone ever have a? All right, or from Annabelle, but I think because it's so blessed, Annabelle's so blessed. Somebody had a bad experience because I think actually they were not good, because it's so the blessing on that surrounds Annabelle
Yeah.
affected somebody.
maybe, yeah, it's
Yeah.
possible. Very, very
Yeah.
possible.
Well, I mean, we had somebody there
And I don't
came to
think,
visit us a couple of weeks ago.
I think
and,
they're not pure of heart. They're not good. I'm not saying they're evil, but not good.
Mhm.
And I think from the blessing on Annabelle affected them.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Because when I was driving, I'm like, because when I feel electric shocks, it's either somebody did a heavy spell or it's a prayer. Because you could feel it's like electric shocks to me. Because when I
Yeah.
walk somewhere and I know
a lot
somebody
of
did a
prayers in
spell,
the museum.
Well, we just had the
Blessed.
museum blessed last a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
Father Bob Bailey.
oh, nice.
He came over and blessed the
He's
museum.
I can't wait to meet him.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll
He's
be
real
there.
nice.
He'll be at the
Right.
Paracon.
Yeah,
so-
he's gonna come. He's gonna bless the museum,
Oh,
and
that-
he's
yeah.
not gonna have a table. He's just gonna be walking around.
Yeah.
If anybody
I'm-
feels they
he's
need a
on my list.
blessing
He's on
or
my list.
So, April, if somebody wanted to contact you because they want to have you do a reading for them, or like they want to talk to their deceased relatives, or whatever you do, how could they contact you?
They can go to intuitiveapril.com.
IntuitiveApril.com.
And that's my website. Everything's there. It tells you everything, bookings,
Oh, good.
everything. It's like self-service.
Good.
But you can always email me at intuitiveapril@gmail.com or april@ghostedmagazine.com. That's the best way to get me, because have a hard time getting back to people.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
so
no,
busy
I mean,
now. Like it's just crazy.
well,
I'm like global now. Like, I have clients in France, and now I'm getting a lot of people from Finland. Finland loves
Really?
me. Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying that you're getting a lot of people
Interesting.
from
Yeah.
Finland a while ago. What do you think that, why? Why do you think that's
why
happening?
Finland?
Is
I
it-
mean, do you have, how's the outreach over there that you're getting people
Well,
from
you know
Finland?
what? Somebody from Finland had
usually
heard,
it takes one. And
yeah,
then-
heard about me, reached out to me, got a reading, and I think they told their friend, another one told us. So like I'm big in California. They love that. They want me to come to
Okay.
California.
Go.
I'm like, yeah,
Go
You
for it.
should go then.
yeah.
To go. Anything you pick up anything about world events or anything happening to us?
Oh, right. Well, world events right now is it's very bad right now. I want everyone to kind of relax and reel it in. There's going to be a lot of fighting. There's going to be a lot of uncovering, of exposing of
Yeah,
lies.
it's already happening.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and you're seeing it already happening. And this is going to continue for the next 5 months. The people that were hiding stuff, and this goes in life with us, and
Yeah,
friends,
yeah.
family, even if we did too, is going to be exposed. Which, and not in a bad way, because now because we're trying to, we're cleansing ourselves right now. We're doing a reset. Sometimes we need to get that off our shoulders, good or bad. But you know what? This is what it is. The people that done you wrong, they're getting it back.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
feel that?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
just seeing it. You could feel the energy. That's why, like I was telling everyone, don't fight with anyone. Don't
Like an
get
energy
involved.
shift, you mean?
A big
Like
energy
almost like a
shift.
karmic type of a thing, almost?
And it's not good. It's not good. Like it's a cleansing, and it's not very good. It's like a spiritual enema that we needed. It's much needed right now. And after it's done, everyone's going to feel lighter and feel better.
Mhm.
But it needed to be done, and but it's going to expose a lot of people.
Yeah.
You think we're in the end times?
I know.
No, we're not in the end times?
No, I don't think we're in the end times.
Okay, good.
No, it's just
I
gonna
think
be,
it's
it's
more
gonna be a new beginning.
reset. It's
Yeah.
a
A
reset.
new
Reset.
beginning.
I think after this year, you're going to see things are much more peaceful in everyone's lives.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah.
There's so much drama
There's
and
so much- yeah.
hatred and diversity.
That's why it's coming to a head.
Everything.
And it's everywhere.
right now,
Everywhere.
the volcano. Oh, I can't talk today.
Volcano.
Give me more wine.
Yeah.
Is starting to explode, and when that explodes, it's just that everything's coming out.
Mhm.
So don't you feel better when everything's released? It's done. It's out in the open, and then there's a reset. There's going to be a shift of energy of consciousness throughout the whole world.
Really.
Somebody asked a question. I love this because do we get a chance to see Jesus when we die?
Oh,
And I believe if you allow him into your heart now, you could see and feel Jesus. And that's what he was sent to us. That's why
Yeah.
that's why
We're all-
God sent his son to us, is so that we know about him, that he was in physical and human
He
form.
was in human form.
And he's there for us. So if you allow him into your heart, you feel him, you see him.
Absolutely.
And I truly believe in
And
that.
I know we have all different religions and everything, but I think we're all one consciousness. It's all the same. It's all, to me, as long as you're not hurting anyone,
As long as you're not hurting anybody.
as long as you're not hurting anyone,
Mhm.
physically, sacrificial, or making up religions.
Well, that's what Ed used to say all the time. He said any religion that practices love of God and fellow man is a good religion.
Yeah.
He said the only religion he didn't agree with was Satanism.
Yeah.
The only one he didn't agree with.
I don't
Everything else
agree.
is, as long as it's love of God and
Love
fellow
of
man,
God.
it's a good religion.
Yeah. A fellow man, as long as it's universal love of everyone and caring about it.
That's
Once
what
we
the world-
realize that everything we do affects everyone else, did you ever go home in a bad mood and it affected your family?
Everybody.
It does.
Healing
It
energy.
happens.
So now, if we're out there fighting with people, it's that's why when
It's a chain reaction.
we cross over, we go through a life review, good or bad. They want you to see what you did, how it affected other people.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right.
And just to be humble. And I like that for people now. There's people I've had disagreements in the field,
Who?
and
No way.
yeah, and we're friends now. And it was brutal. It was, but
you know the 7 deadly sins, right? Like envy, greed,
yeah,
hatred,
I think this person needed to be
sloth.
humbled, actually.
all of that stuff,
Yeah.
lust, all that stuff. That's all true, you know, like,
Yeah.
especially envy and jealousy and all that stuff. It's not good.
But
Yeah,
when
well,
we
the
cross
thing is-
over, it melts away. As soon as you cross over,
Melts away.
it's
And
gone.
you know what? Life's too short. We're put on this earth for a very short amount of time, and
Let's just have a good time.
I think people are
Not
just
me. I'm gonna live
wasting.
forever.
They're
Yeah.
wasting their time on the negative stuff, and
That's why you don't
And,
give it any life.
you know-
Don't give it oxygen.
And negativity,
Just don't-
as you know,
I
drives
say,
negativity.
enjoy life. Don't focus on the negative, and be happy.
Mm.
What you put out there is what you're gonna get in return.
Well, you know what I keep telling everyone in the paranormal field? I think everyone has to separate their personal lives from the paranormal.
Absolutely.
Focus on what is.
It's not all about the
good.
paranormal. Well, here's the thing: it's not
No.
all about the paranormal.
No, it's not. But a lot of people see their personal feelings get involved. You know,
Well,
if
everybody.
you focus on your family and the foundation
Exactly,
and
we're talking
appreciate the
about
family more, this won't matter to you. All the
No, this doesn't come first.
Yeah.
Family,
yeah,
comes first. Well, actually, God comes first.
yeah,
Family, friends.
yeah.
But you never turn your backs on them, even though they turn their backs on you.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. I'm
Don't-
just telling you.
Yeah, I know. And people see it as
I don't want revenge, but I'm done.
But
with it.
some people deserve it. Some people deserve it, and that's the
Yeah.
only way they're gonna learn.
exactly
but-
humble. If somebody gets
But I
humbled-
don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah.
But it does happen.
Yeah,
It does
I've
come
seen-
back
I've
and
seen
it
people
returns.
have
It
this-
comes back to you.
Some people just have hatred in their heart.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have hatred if they focus on their family
I know.
and realize what they have.
I know.
Because the family is the best part of your life. If you have a good family life, that
Focus
foundation.
on what you have, not what
Yeah.
you don't have. Right.
Yeah. This
You
is
know, and he used to
nothing-
tell me that all the
yeah.
time. Focus on what you have, not what you don't have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because people have a lot less than you, and so
They
you
have
got
the most
food on
fun.
the table. You got a
Who's
car, right? You
happier?
got a house to live in.
Yeah.
You got food in your stomach. You're all
Well,
set.
he made the best chicken sandwiches.
Oh, you had
Wait.
one? Good,
Oh
right?
my God, that was good.
Yeah, stand up for what you believe in. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh
And,
no, yeah, don't take shit.
don't take shit. But what I
Throw
say
punch
is
them.
what I say is don't hate them for what they're doing. But
My husband says, "Hate the sin, not the sinner."
That's true.
it's
Yeah.
true. There's something driving them.
It's like I don't hate the person.
Don't
I
say
hate-
that to me when I'm mad,
It's
though.
like I don't hate the
Yeah,
person, I hate the behavior.
it's true. Don't say that to me, Matt. But you know what? You have to come down at
Yeah.
some point.
I know my
Yeah.
husband's like,
You
I'm
know?
like, don't talk to me. I'm so pissed right now.
I just know Italian people are the best people in the world. That's what I know.
This is
Right?
true.
Are you right?
This is
Am I
true.
right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like
You
I
guys are
want my
biased.
revenge.
Oh yeah.
But I really
If
have
you don't
to.
focus
No,
on
and
it,
that's
it happens.
it happens. But you know what? Do I want to get caught up in that? No, I don't.
No.
I keep thinking,
You know
what would Jesus do?
No, you know what? It's
That's what I
actually
think.
good for
What
them
would Jesus
because
do?
it humbles them and they realize what they did.
I hope so.
You know.
Hope so.
I
Yeah.
hope so too. You know.
But you know what? Like I said, this is we're not talking about the paranormal.
Oh, yeah, who
We're
cares
talking
about
about
that?
in
This-
life in general. You
Yeah.
know, just your everyday life. You know,
Positivity begets positivity.
Yeah.
Negativity begets negativity. Period.
Yeah.
You draw what you think to you. You think negative all the time, you're going to draw negativity to
Mhm.
you.
Listen. I just want to have fun in this life.
no, you know what?
I
It's
like
gonna
to
be
look
it's gonna
forward
be
to-
taken.
No,
Yeah.
No
Say
matter
that,
what, it's gonna be taken care of because evil is gonna get exposed.
Oh,
No
and
matter what,
listen,
at some
it's
point,
happening now.
and it's happening now.
Yeah.
You know, all the wrong that's been happening is getting exposed. And what happens when evil gets exposed? It gets sloppy,
Mhm.
right? Starts falling apart, and they
Mhm.
start turning on each other.
Yeah.
So it's happening. It's coming.
It's happening. It's happening.
And I just can't wait until that's over with,
yeah.
and we're back
And you know what?
back
We're-
to where we
that's what I'm
should
saying.
be.
We're going into a reset. We're going into a reset right now.
I hope so.
Oh, don't hope.
Soon.
It's happening, dog.
Okay.
All right, listen, guys, we gotta go. April,
Hey,
we
guys.
love having you.
I
Tro-
can't believe I'm here. I'm gonna cry.
No. April, you want to come back in May, June?
I'm going to live away.
All
Just
right,
want to
so-
make a couple announcements before we
Yeah,
go
have a-
on.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Chris wants to make a couple announcements.
Next week we're planning. You guys, we got a big announcement for our
Bigger
for
than
our. It's big. It's not bigger than you, but it's big
me.
For
It's
what?
big.
For what?
for
Announcement
the
what?
podcast.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
Me and Dan are working on that. we'll have it ready, and it'll be going out next Friday
Are we working
at
on that
9
tonight?
o'clock. Not
We're putting
either
it together tonight.
tonight or tomorrow. We're gonna put it together.
So when's the next
And
podcast?
it's going to be Friday. Next Friday at 9 o'clock is going to be when we'll release that. It won't be. It's not live. It's pre-recorded, but it's
gonna be
exciting. It's going to be
really good.
exciting.
I know what
And
you're
actually, we'll make probably an announcement by Sunday. So if you check us out on social media, But anyway, make sure you guys visit our new webpage, which is warrensconvention.com. And we got a lot of things on there. It ties us into all our social medias, our YouTube channels, and tells all about our Paracon coming up.
All right, Tony, do you want to take us out? Chris,
Yeah.
thanks for that.
Look, everybody,
Oh,
go
don't
to
forget, go to April.
intuitiveapril.com.
Listen,
Okay.
you had your time.
Intuitiveapril.com and Ghosted Magazine. Check it out.
Yeah, check it out for April.
Thank you.
She was gracious enough to come and give us her knowledge base that she has. So for Dan Rivera, for Chris Galoran, for Wade Kirby, for myself, of course, but also for our special guest, April Doucette, this is Tony Spera. Hope to see you again, and we'll see you on the other side.
Good night,
Good night.
everyone. God bless.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.